Last time on the Incorrigible party. With Officer Ned Bull's help, the party finds Benito Algator's cell amidst the chaos of rioting inmates, narrowly avoiding confrontations with guards and prisoners alike. Arriving at their tunnel escape route, Hellcruck and Rumpke desperately grapple with a struggling Benito, after watching Ned Bull cruelly murder his lover, Zev, on Zalmo's orders. Ned Bull urges them to get Benito out of there as more guards approach. The party emerges on the other side of the cramped, flooded escape route to find their rowboat still intact. Steep stone cliff to his back, Rumpke standing in front of the entrance to the escape tunnel, Hellcruck in possession of his shiv, still caught between both of you. Benito Algator is going to make one last desperate attempt to break this kind of combined grapple that the two of you have maintained on him through this entire tunnel. So, one of you can be the lead role, the other will say is helping, so whomever's going to roll will get the advantage because of the help.
I will help, because I'm exhausted.
You're more of a hindrance.
So Benito will use his acrobatics. Hellcruck, you have to use athletics to maintain the grapple.
Adjusted 20.
Your grips, they're slick from being soaking wet right now as you found yourself on this narrow sandbar. As he tries to wrench and twist and squirm out of your grasp, your hands slip down his forearms as he struggles, but you just barely keep a hold of Benito. He rolled a 19, preventing him from bolting. And he's starts to thrash. You imbeciles! You might as well kill me now. Taking me to Zalmo is the same outcome.
Why do you feel that?
What do you mean he had Zev killed? Of course I am next.
I believe that was more of a misunderstanding.
Do not be so stupid. You think you can prevent your own fate from being the same when you work so closely with Zalmo?
I want to walk up to him and smack him. Do not ever call me stupid. And I'll walk away.
Look, all right, everybody just calm down. Benito, I'm very, very sorry. We had no idea that was going to happen to Zev.
Unhand me.
But
let me go. Now.
There's nowhere to go. We have to take the boat out of here.
I will swim back if I must.
Maybe you could swim back, but we're taking the
Knock
boat.
him out. Tie him up. Throw him in the boat.
Do not assault me like this. Show me more respect. The respect I deserve.
You do not deserve my respect.
You do not deserve anything that you think is coming to you.
What do you think I think is coming to me?
Clearly you think you can do whatever it is you please. In the name of Zalmo, no less.
No. In the name of Say Shadal. I want to,
That was the most French spit I've ever heard.
Yeah, what is it supposed to be?
telekinetically shove him.
Hey, Hellcruck's holding on to him. Take it easy.
Yeah, if you try to shove him and move him, you'll break the grapple if you move him.
No, because I'm being reminded that he's being held.
Yeah, he's restrained right now and continuing to struggle. I don't know what you think you're going to do with him, but it doesn't seem like he's going to come quietly.
Can I instead cast Silent Image of myself standing right next to him, but huge, 15 foot tall, right next to him?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like.
So this giant Seishadal will just appear right in front of him and bend over and put her finger in his face and point at him and then disappear.
Okay, like a scolding.
Yeah.
He spits again, this time a little more Spanish. And what are you going to do with him? What do you want to try to render him unconscious?
That's what Seishadal wants.
Okay, I'll sort of look at him and start letting loose of him, going, I'm going to let you go. But you got to stay calm, man. Okay? We can work this out. There's nothing you can do now. Let's all get back to shore here.
Release me.
I let him go and hold my hands up.
What are you doing, Hellcruck?
I sort of take a deep breath and try and maybe turn my body a little bit so we're a bit more eye to eye or face to face.
Mr. Benito, look, I understand this is a terrible thing that's happened, but please just work with us for a short while till we get back to shore, okay? We're not gonna let anything bad happen to you. I really don't think Zelmo wanted this to happen.
Roll me a persuasion, and I'm going to have to give you disadvantage based on Seishadal's little...
Well, can I roll an intimidation?
What was your intent was to make him comply? Because you've already said you wanted to render him unconscious. What was your intent with the silent image?
Just to get him to shut up, basically. and have a little fear of Seishadal in him.
Okay, in that regard, you can certainly roll me an intimidation.
My persuasion was a 6.
My intimidation was a 12.
Okay.
Add those together, we got
Yes!
18.
What happened to that 29-year-old?
That was stealth. That's different.
Yeah, that's a little different.
I know.
Benito seems to, compose himself before immediately trying to wrench himself free once again from you, Hellcrux. So let's just do another contest here as he tries to escape. Ooh, he did worse. He only got a 16 that time.
He's not going to be happy about this one. Nat 20.
Your iron grip on him, despite how, again, you're slick, you're wet from the half-flooded tunnel. And once he fails for a second time, any of that composure he was trying to put on, again, it's gone. And he lashes out at you. He will attempt to punch you. 18 to hit. So you'll just take only 3 bludgeoning from his punch. And again, he is going frantic. So if you're going to try to... Again, we can roll initiative here if you want to try to put him out.
Hellcrook really doesn't want to. I mean, he's kind of content to just take the blows, but I don't know how long he's going to keep this up, if he's ever going to give up and tire out.
Now, I will remind you, on the rowboat, which you've already seen is still here.
There's an oar.
At the very... Well, there isn't... Yes, there are a pair of oars. But there was also a short length of rope attached to the front of it as well.
You're gonna hang him?
Yes, exactly.
That's what he was implying. What can we do? DM's
Put
The
him out of his
DM
misery.
told me to. He pointed out the rope.
He practically made us. All right, I'm going to look over to the boat.
Look, Benito, I already said I'm sorry. I know this is terrible what's happened. I don't want to tie you up, but if I have to, I'll do it.
There is nothing you could say. I will not be coming with you willingly.
Okay, well, I tried.
I'll get the rope.
Benito, sir,
Turn around and sort of stomp away.
what if we take you back to the shore and we hide you somewhere until after we go talk to Zalmo again and we figure out what his intentions are?
Kind of looks towards you. Sweet Lila, I know that you are not the one that is in control. Not all the time. How can I trust anything that you say with Seishodal in the reins?
We're in control.
You are not. She deceives you.
We're named Kylia.
Yet again, a lie. How am I to believe anything out of any of your mouths?
We didn't want anybody in the prison to know who we were. And we're telling you now, so you can see you do trust us. You can trust us.
I will cooperate to shore. But from then we go our separate ways.
We still tying him up.
Hellcrook kind of looks to Kylia Seishodal, sort of like if she thinks that's going to work for Zelmo. Sort of that sort of look, if I'm able to generate that, all of that in a look.
What if we agree we'll just get to shore for now? We concentrate on that.
We will get to shore. And then that is it.
And then we talk.
And then I leave.
And then we talk. Okay, great. Let's get in the boat.
I can't get this knot untied. It's really sticky. Here, wait. I think I got it. Okay, I come walking up. I'm dragging the rope behind me. Walking. All right. Yeah, put your hands out in front of you there, Benito. I got a
no,
nice mason's knot I know how to tie up.
Rumpke is not needed. He's gonna come with us.
Yeah, I think he's been through enough, and I think we've won him over. He's changed his mind, and he said he'd cooperate in the boat.
What? Maybe we should just tie him up in case he decides to change his mind.
Benito, do we need to tie you up?
You will not mind me.
No, we don't. That's not necessary, Rumpke. Please, go get the boat and we'll get in it.
All right.
But the
Turn around, start
contract...
dragging a rope back.
Opal, please, dear. Let's all go in and get in the boat, shall we? We really do need to be leaving this area.
So as they're walking back, I'm counting. Hey, I count 6. And I look at the boat. Ain't gonna fit.
I'm really small. It's like 5 1/4.
It is gonna be snug. Well, let's try at least. Let's see if we can all keep our legs really close.
Hey, Leah, can I sit on your lap?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you're the only one that I trust.
Well, somebody's got to row this thing, and they're gonna be sitting in the middle. I don't know if I mean, I can try, but
I'll take the oars.
From its rocky mooring, you do retrieve the stored rowboat, the oars, and rather damp change of clothes that the 4 of you were originally wearing before Owen gave you your prison garb, which you had changed on on the shore of the bay before you even rowed out to this tunnel. Luckily, you didn't lose them on the way in, because of course you didn't lose the boat on the way in. You see no visible signs of any additional damage done to the boat, though, since you put it away. And setting it into the water, the 6 of you kind of cram into it. And it's a little less about a matter of the space for the 6 of you, but rather the amount of weight in the boat. And as the last person kind of gets in, the small lapping waves of the ocean coming in, like immediately they start to wash over the lip of the rowboat. You're not completely underneath the surface of it, but with the movement of the ocean, the motion of the ocean is getting you a little wet down there. So,
Ooh. All right.
under normal conditions, rowing this boat to about the spot you approximate that you need to reach to, which is going to be the closest to where the closest wagon station that you left the wagon, that you hope is still there for you. That's you'd estimate it would probably be about a 30-minute rowboat ride. Again, under ideal conditions, which of course you're not quite in ideal conditions. So again, for the time being, it seems like the boat is technically still afloat.
Just speaking like very roughly, if the water continues to come in at about the rate that it's coming in right now, like how full are we going to be by the time we make it there?
Well, I'm glad you asked. In the in the scope of me again having too much time on my hand, I did go ahead and I figured out just how many liters of water need to fill into this rowboat before it completely is submerged and no longer functions as a boat. The typical rowboat's supposed to have, supposed to hold about 4 people and maybe like a few hundred pounds of cargo, right? So with your additional 2 people, with Happy and Benito, that's about, I roughly put them at a combined weight of 250 pounds. They're both very slight. Of course, Benito being a slight elf, and Happy is kind of just a slight human. So you're going to need to, once another 150 pounds or so, or 100 pounds of water accumulates into this boat, it will completely sink, which is equivalent to about 70 liters of water. Obviously, you can attempt to bail out the water as you're rowing, right? Like nothing's stopping you, just like trying to, bail out with your hands. And the amount of water that is constantly filtering is kind of random up to, the size of the waves in which you encounter out on the water, which I do have mechanics for. So is that what you want to try to do? You just want to try to set out and hope bailing can make you there? Because again, you can't really, you can guesstimate, right, how long you might have. And again, you think it'll take you upwards at least 30 minutes to get to where you want to get to on shore. If you want to dock somewhere earlier on shore, you could cut the distance. You could definitely do that. I will say also though, at the fullness of this boat, this overloaded boat, rowing it is going to be at half speed. So it's most likely going to take you upwards of an hour out on the water here.
I suggest 2 of us get out and hold on to the side of the boat, which will lighten the load somewhat. And then when we get to the closest part of the shore on the other side, those two people can just go off onto land, and you guys, the rest of you, take Benito. And I mean, Happy and one of us can get off on land. There's no reason for us to drag on further, and then the rest of you can go.
But who's gonna get wet and cold? Not me?
I will.
Bad thing about that plan is you'll be going to shore right outside the prison, wearing prison clothes.
I wasn't thinking we were going to get that close to the shore at that point. I thought we'd stay more out in the bay.
How cold is it? Like, if someone hangs on the side of the boat, how long would it take till they're, like, hypothermic?
Well, if you're out here exposed to the frigid ocean for long enough, you potentially can gain levels of exhaustion.
I think Hellcrook's not in bad shape. So, like, if there's someone in the boat who feels up to rowing, he would swim.
Hellcrook, you row. We'll hang on the side.
Are you sure, Kylie? The water's pretty cold.
We're the ones that can best do it.
Yeah, I'll row. You get off from the side.
I would be happy to be one of the ones in the water.
No, Mr. Benito, you're not getting in the water. But Rumkey, I think that's maybe not a bad idea. You're in rough shape. I'm not as beat up as you are. I'll swim. You row.
We sort of rock over and move around, so the boat sort of tips a little bit. But we get in position.
If the cold starts making you weak, I can heal you. And I'll try really hard to hold my breath in way less. Would going invisible help?
I don't think it works that way.
Okay.
All right, I start rowing, and I whistle as I go.
Okay, so Kylie and Hellcrook are in the water. You're kind of like at the back of the boat, basically holding on to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're holding on to the boat, you can keep yourselves afloat fairly easily. It will mean a little extra drag, so the boat is still going to be moving as if it is overloaded, but is no longer taking on water. So that threat you've neutralized now with two of you into the water, as there are only 4 passengers on it, which they're supposed to be, which is what it's rated for.
Hey, like I was saying before, maybe best thing to do is when we get close to around the corner here, maybe Opal and I pop out and make our way back home. You take them down, get to the wagon, and then Benito here, he's going to cooperate, right, Benito, so you don't get tied up?
I cooperate until we get to shore, then I am gone, as we discussed.
Hellcrook looks up from bobbing in the water. Kind of tusks are sort of starting a little bit to chatter.
Well, maybe we could do that as long as you two feel like you're okay to swim.
Yeah, we'll get close enough.
And when we get to shore, Benito, we can hide you out. We have a house. We can keep you safe.
Right, yeah. We have a keep. It's pretty cool, fully furnished.
I do not require your aid to keep me safe. I know plenty of people still in the city that would be willing to harbor me.
Do you? It's been a long time.
Yes, that is true. It has.
Yeah, are you cold or old?
Both.
All right, so there's no worry then about being close-ish to the prison. Like, you're just going to get shortest distance to the shore, essentially, for Kylie and Hellcrook to get out of the water, basically.
Yeah, sort of go around the outcropping there on the map. What would you call that? The peninsula that's sort of sticking out there, and get into the harbor. Sort of go around, stay close to the shore, stay close to the shore, and then when we get there, where it looks like it's first place you can get to where the beach would be in the dark there, hopefully, we'll do the swap.
Before we finalize that, do we know, are there like lookout towers from the prison with like searchlights or anything like that around that area, or?
No, I mean at the opening or the entrance to Storm's End is like thousands of feet away from the bay, right? Like there's nothing as far as infrastructure for the prison to go that exists outside of the tunnels, basically, other than a few like guardhouses immediately in front of the entrance, right, which is kind of in the northern section of the Corollars exhibition. So Yeah, no, there's no watchtowers or anything out like on the shore. The only thing you would be potentially contending with are dock workers. But as we kind of discussed when you left around midnight, right? Like this is all pre-dawn, so there won't be people working at the dock right now either. So yeah, I think you could be pretty confident that it would be clear for you to dock again in the pitch black, right? There's no type of lighting out here on the shore, especially how north you would be landing from the last dock. Yeah, you can be confident that you'd be fine to slide in under the cover of darkness and get some of you at least onto dry land. Rumkey, why don't you give me I'll take an athletics check. It's only DC 12. But this is just simply to keep the rowboat from capsizing, as again, you have kind of two people hanging on either side of it, trying to keep themselves up above the water.
All right, so that is with a -5, it'd be an 8.
Okay.
-5.
You're rolling for about 20 minutes or so. Which kind of puts you basically at the mouth of the bay by now, right? You're like halfway to where you need to be. And maybe, whether it's Hellcrook or Kylea, who knows, perhaps even Benito sensing the motion of the boat and adding a little to him in his own, like trying to slosh it one way or the other, it begins to tip over, and you're like on one side as it's careening over. I'll let Opal in the boat, if you want to try to do something to help stabilize it. You can give me, I don't know, what would you try to do if you can feel it tipping over?
Is it tipping my way or another way?
Well, it's tipping, so looking at it longitudinally, it's tipping like to the right essentially, which would be the side closest to the plateau itself.
This is when everybody overcorrects and you flip the boat.
This wouldn't be the first boat that John's tipped. Don't go canoeing with him is all I'm saying.
So so you can try to like throw yourself against the other, right?
I think with my low center of gravity and size, I would just like lay flat, like with emotion leaning toward the tip side, the side in the air, to like put some momentum, but also be stabilizing it because my 3 feet self like fits in there.
Okay, I like it. Give me your own athletics here. This will be DC 12 to prevent the boat from capsizing.
Well, there's a 12 on my dice. Oh, +0. Perfect.
Well, there you go. Okay, you are able to stabilize, and everyone in the boat is like...
Just like stop, drop, and
you kind of hunker yourself into the little spot you found to control it. Rumkey, keeping a hold of the oars, you're fine. Benito takes his chance. He dives over the side of the boat and into the water. And you see him like straight in, underneath the water. He disappears for seconds before coming up about 20 feet from the boat, and he begins to swim to shore as fast as he can.
Can we go after him?
How far are we from shore?
Yeah, you can certainly try to swim after him, absolutely. We can do a bit of a chase here.
I knew this was going to happen without the rope.
You're about 2,000 feet from shore.
And he thinks he can swim
That's a
that?
lot of opals away. Yeah.
Can I throw you into the rope and go get him, Hellcrook?
Do we have 2,000 feet of rope? What if I don't catch up to him until we get to shore?
You do have rope, though. You can at least tie him up or grab him or restrain him in some way. Punch him and restrain him.
Do you think I'd be able to hold onto the rope while swimming, or would that slow me down a whole lot?
Put your tusk.
Yeah, so this is just a 10-foot length of rope. That's all that was attached to this rowboat. So yeah, you can bundle it up, put it in your teeth if you want, and I assume Kylea is also gonna. The two of you want to give chase, yes?
Yes.
All right, so the two of you let go. Benito has like this 20-foot head start on you, not much. Let's roll initiative. I'll take an initiative from John as well, because now John, with the additional people no longer hanging on the boat is moving at its normal speed of 30 feet around, basically. So you are actually can now actually or outpace the swimmers, because they're only swimming at half speed, because none of you have a swim speed, right?
So Hellcrook is swimming with the rope in his teeth, and Rumkey goes soaring by him after Benito. Hellcrux sputtering on the water with the rope, trying to not drown.
It'll all make sense here in a second. I have a -2 on my initiative.
You do have a super stupor, remember?
Should I roll even though I'm like looking at the sky and just hear? I feel them let go.
If you want to potentially jump in yourself, then yeah, you can certainly roll. But let's say if you feel the need to enter the initiative at the top of the order, I can let you join in and see where you would roll it.
I could stand up and cast a spell or something.
Yeah, you could.
Ray of Frost.
Well, it depends on if there's components.
All right, so Kylie, what did you get for initiative?
14.
Okay.
Oh, it ain't great, let me tell you that. 11. That's better than I thought, actually.
I got a 3, but I don't think I'd take -4.
No, you're at a 1. You're at a 1. Opal, do you want to enter initiative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe even one, you know what, one round late.
Okay. I'll let you
'Cause
kind of
I'm
delay.
laying down. It
Okay,
makes sense.
Absolutely. So we know Rumkey's at the bottom. So once Rumkey gets to do something, Opal, if you at that point want to enter initiative, I'll let you roll in.
Perfect.
Benito, though, with a 24 in his initiative, immediately he sees the two of you giving chase, and he submerges, disappears below the dark waters. Like you can't even see. You put your hand in the water, you can't even see your hand beneath the depths of it. This water is so dark. But yeah, he submerges and does not come up.
Oh, great. He killed himself.
You can't do that.
Dude, that's not even a good blooper. You just can't say that.
So I will remind everybody. A creature can hold its breath for a number of minutes equal to 1 plus its Constitution modifier for a minimum of 30 seconds. So that's a very long time in combat here, right?
I was so excited for that mechanic like a little while ago, and now I hate it.
It is your turn, Kylie. Yes, you're next.
I will reach out to Hellcrux and touch him and teleport him within 30 feet. So approximately where we saw Benito go down and just a little bit beyond that.
Let's go.
And then swim.
So you can make it halfway, 15 feet closer to Hellcrux, basically. Hellcrux, you're up.
I am a bit shocked and surprised at what has just happened, and then I just, once I realize, I keep swimming for the shore.
Okay, you're going to maintain your course, basically.
My plan is to get to the shore and then just keep an eye out, and wherever he comes up, he's going to need to come to shore eventually, and I can just run to wherever he's coming.
Rumkey.
I will row the boat to where as close to Hellcrux as I can get it.
Easily done. You can make it to 30 feet right to him. Although with Hellcrux, so Hellcrux, you can also, you can dash, right, if you want. So you would move a 30 if you dashed, instead of your 15 normal.
I will, yeah. I think getting back on terra firma is, the biggest advantage I can get in this situation, I think. Because I can move a lot quicker on ground than I can in the water.
Rumkey catching up the boat. Opal, would you like to roll in now?
No. After all that, I don't know that I would know what to do.
Benito at the top. Rumkey, as you're rowing and you're catching up to Hellcrux, you feel one of the oars. Someone's pulling on it from beneath the water. So let's do a contested strength here, contested athletics.
Something's pulling on it from Benito the water.
Finally. So that would be a 19 with the -4.
Wow, okay. That is better than Benito's 13. So he comes up at the side of the boat and tries to grab onto you, Rumkey, instead of the oar with his second, it's kind of his a second attack here for the grapple. So yeah, we'll just contest a grapple here again. Oh man. Well, he only got an 11 that time.
You see, remember I was telling you earlier about those red numbers on Roll20? That critical fail? I failed. That'd be a -4, I guess.
Maybe it's time to get out some of those real dice.
Abandoning his grip on the oar, instead wrapping one of his long arms around your neck, he hauls you out of the boat and into the water with him. Kylia, you're next.
How far away am I from the boat?
Well, Hellcruck, you teleported Hellcruck 30 feet. He then swam another 30 feet. So from the boat, you were 15 feet.
Did the contract stipulate dead or alive? Like, for real?
Okay, so I can teleport myself into the boat, because it's a bonus action, and then attack him? Unarmed strike him? So I'm in the water, I teleport into the boat, and I punch him for a 12.
That is unfortunately his miss. His AC, even unarmored, is 15 with his high dexterity. So yeah, he's pulled Rumpke. You suddenly appear in front of him, above him, right in the boat. The boat rocks as your weight hits into this boat, and maybe that's what throws you off. Benito's able to kind of almost submerge again out of the reach of your swipe. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Hellcruck. The boat is 30 feet behind you after your dash, and you kind of take in what's happening behind you.
I'm gonna change course and turn my rudder and switch my sails, come back around, and try and this. I was feeling pretty sympathetic for Benito, but he's starting to really get on my nerves here.
All right, are you going to dash your way back to the boat, which would mean you'd be at the boat with everybody else if you do so?
Yes, I will. I think like worst case scenario right now is the entire boat gets capsized.
All right, Rumpke, you're in the water immediately adjacent to Benito. You see Kaelia has appeared above him, attempting to swipe at him to no avail.
Can I punch him, and will there be any disadvantage on that in the water?
No.
All right, then I'm going to hit him. All right, so 19, it'd be a 14.
Ooh, 14's a miss.
Okay. Second. Hey, crit!
Hey,
crit.
there you go.
26 minus 5.
Still a critical hit, so still full and roll.
16 points of damage.
All right, good job.
And then, if I still can, if he still seems like he's capable of doing things, I'll give him the old one too.
Oh, he is still fully capable of everything he's trying to attempt to do here.
All right, so that's a 20 minus 5, so 15.
That is a hit. That's just what you need.
That's 4 bludgeoning. And try to grab onto the side of this boat if I can, if I still have... I guess I wouldn't have used all my actions.
No, that's fine. We'll use your free action to interact with an object. You can kind of put a hand on the side of the boat to keep keep treading water here a little more easily. Opal, let's put you into the initiative now, I think.
I'm alone in the boat.
Well, you got Happy with you.
We're happy.
Don't forget about Happy.
Oh, the lump of uselessness.
He's got some pot plants under his shirt for you. Come on.
I was trying to find my notes about the contract. Like, can I hurt Benito, or is that sketchy?
Well, I think you can presume to go through all the trouble of breaking somebody out of prison that delivering a dead body to Zalmo isn't exactly what was intended.
Just knock him unconscious.
Well, I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't cast a spell like non-lethally, right?
Right, but keep in mind if a lethal attack or spell reduces an NPC to 0, they die in 2 rounds. That is our homebrew rule to help with ranged and magic attacks within city. So if you can stabilize him within 2 rounds after you've reduced him to 0, then you avoid the lethal part of the lethal damage.
And then he's still out of it for an hour?
And then he would be unconscious for 1d4 hours.
Yes, please. Okay.
So what's your initiative?
18.
Still, Benito at the top. Now he lunges up at you, Kaelia, attempting to grapple you. Contested athletics, please. You got a 14.
11.
Okay, he again gets one arm around you, pulls you out of the boat and into the water with Rumpke. And then Hellcruck has stripped him of his makeshift dagger he had at the very least, but he will still lash out at Rumpke here. Ooh, that is only a 13 to hit.
No.
So between that and his grapple, he's out of actions.
But I will use my reaction to counterpunch him then.
Can you do that if it's a miss or just an attack against you?
When a creature hits you with a melee attack.
Opal, you are next. Now it's just you and Happy in the boat. Everyone else is in the water surrounding Benito.
I'm specifically ticked about having to row now and do some work, but anyway.
You just take the boat and leave.
No, I like stand up and like to see over the edge of the boat. I stand on like the seat too.
We need you at the keep.
And I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness, which is just verbal and somatic,
Nice.
at him as long as he's within 60 feet. 17 to hit.
It's a ranged attack. It's a ranged spell.
It is.
Okay, I am going to give you disadvantage based on the close proximity. Because you're within 5 feet of him.
A 1.
Ooh. Okay, critical hit. All right, so you've critically failed, which means the next attack against you, Opal, has advantage.
Can I use my movement to duck down in the boat again?
Yeah, if you want to try to take, you definitely can get low enough to have full cover from those in the water. Yeah, absolutely.
Dang it!
And then I just like duck and cover.
Okay.
That was my last spell slot that could do that.
Kylea, you are next.
So I'm in the water with Benito.
Correct.
I'll just try and grapple him.
12 for his athletics.
21.
All right, you have successfully got a hold of Benito, which means his movement is 0 now, which is quite important, I think, in this scenario.
So I will hold on to him and get the rope! Get the rope!
Hellcruck, you are next. Right at the boat with the rope in teeth.
And tusks.
I'm gonna reach up with my left hand to hold kind of the edge of the boat to steady myself while my legs are paddling underneath me to keep me afloat, and with my right hand going to I don't know if I can do this one-handed, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna do my best to try and start tying him up. Maybe Kylea is able to help as well. I'm gonna try and tie his hands together.
Rumpke, you're going to aid in this, I assume. And Benito's gone like dead weight in your arms, Kylea. Like that obviously doesn't break the ground, but he's not doing anything on his own to keep float either. So you are like struggling with him as Hellcruck makes over to him.
He's toddler tempered.
Can I pick up an oar and bop him on the head?
I think I'll grab the rope, the other end of the rope, and dive down and try to tie his feet together.
He's gonna sink.
Okay, I like this. All right, so then back to the top. We'll just let Benito he's going to have one shot to get away from Kylea. And if he fails, then you've successfully wrangled and roped him, okay? So let's do a contested... at your athletics, Kylea, he is able to use acrobatics to try to escape.
15.
10 on his acrobatics, which he's supposed to be good at. Excellent work. And Opal, yeah, if you want to grab an oar and you can bonk him on it.
I just like to give him like, not like a, I'm gonna murder you, but like a.
I mean, this begs the question. You've successfully, basically, you've tied his hands, you've attached his arms around his ankles, so he's kind of like almost like hog-tied here in front of him. You can certainly get him back into the boat. I assume Rumpke is probably also going to want to get back into the boat and basically assume positions the way you had it before.
Okay, I can reach toward the rope to try to start like moving him toward the boat.
Yeah. And you see even like Happy is helping you all like pull Benito, still struggling against his bindings, into the boat. Are you gonna want to render him unconscious here is the question.
I think so. I think it's better for the best.
If someone yelled hit him,
Or him!
I will try my darndest to do something, with an improvised weapon as opposed to failing in magic again. So.
Just picture the four of you surrounding a bound person and just beating the shit out of him until he loses consciousness here. Opal, You just bonk him in the head with the oar, and we'll just he's completely restrained. It's just a matter of mechanically reducing.
I wanted to see if I'd miss.
No, well, maybe you missed the first few times, but But yes, you can render Benito unconscious, so you now have, he's passed out, he's bound.
Keep his head above the water. Come on.
Yeah, so I think the next thing would be just everybody get back in and we sort of row the boat a lot closer to shore. So the two of us can disembark and let the rest of you go.
And you are able to do so. At this point, can Kylea, Hellcruck, and Rumpke now, since the three of you have been thrown into the ocean here, roll me a Constitution saving throw, please, to avoid gaining a level of exhaustion due to the exposure of the cold water.
Well, my con is a +0, and I rolled a 4.
That is one level of exhaustion for Kylea.
So I rolled an 18, so -5 still give me a 3, so or 13, sorry.
13 is a pass. It's only DC 10.
And 12 for Hellcruck.
So just Kylea inflicting one level of exhaustion here due to the frigid waters. So, offloading Hellcruck and Kylea onto shore, right? Is that what?
Rumpke and Opal.
Rumpke and Opal. Okay.
But are our clothes still in the boat? I mean, I'm sure they're soaking wet.
Oh, yeah, everything is soaked, yes. But yeah, your change of clothes are still in the boat. So if you want to change into
let's not be in
your
prison
normal clothes,
yeah.
discard your prison
Yes,
garb,
please.
easily done.
Can we, like, hold on to it and really discreetly discard of the prison garb, not just, like, throw it on the
Let them
beach?
float. I don't think we die.
Yeah? Okay,
like escaping
okay.
from Alcatraz or something, right?
We could put him on a dead pig, at least. Jeez.
Where are you going to get a pig?
That's a lot of extra work.
If only you had left one in the wagon. Are Rumpke and Opal taking Happy with you on shore then?
I feel like Opal would try. She has to. You guys have to have 2-on-1 with
What
Benito.
does he look like? Does he look like he can swim at this point?
He was mostly walking.
He looks like he's walking on his own. And again, he was like
mostly walking.
he was helping you lift Benito. So he seems to be doing like exponentially better from when Hellcruck and Kylea originally found him.
The downside is he's still wearing prison garb walking in the street.
You have an hour till Benito wakes back up, though. I just feel like 2-on-1 is a better situation.
You have
for him.
1d4 hours, so potentially one,
Oh,
potentially
okay.
up to 4 hours he'll be unconscious.
Also, you guys are going to meet us at the shore when we come up to the shore.
No, so the two of us are going to go out, and then we're going to go home. And
Yeah.
then you guys are going to go down to the wagon, stick Benito in the wagon, and then all of you come back. And I think you should take Happy with you.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he can get
Okay.
in the back of the wagon and hug Benito.
He doesn't have regular clothes. He'll stand out.
Oh. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Oh, okay, I'll see you later. Happy.
Be careful.
Of course.
Well done, Miss Togglespronger. Thank you all for getting me out of there.
Brr, the water's. Oof. Okay, what's the fastest way to cross the city?
You're able to offload them, like you can get within like 30 feet of shore, right, without even coming up, getting the boat into the sand or whatever. Like you're right there essentially. Again, it's pitch black in this area, and the closest main roadway is of course Exporter Street. So you're just gonna beeline it to the keep then. Here is for the two of you.
I think, tactfully and stealthily, it's night, but we'll sort of stay in the alleyways or alongside, sort of walk along and look at, see if there's anybody walking on the street, and then sort of wait till they pass and then move along as we work our way there.
Easily done. Within the city in the nighttime on the major and the minor roadways is where, they keep the lanterns that are supposed to be re-upped on the candles that burn within them and the oil, etc. So you can certainly keep into some of those side roads that are not as well lit during the night. And yeah, the two of you kind of set off towards the keep.
I would like to move. I was going to say, I would like to move stealthily, so I don't know. That might slow us.
But it will still take you upwards of 30 minutes as you kind of slowly progress, like John said, dodging people, sticking into the shadows and making it back. Hellcruck, Happy, Benito, and Kylea say, Shadal, so you are now going to take this boat kind of back out into the bay a little ways, right, to clear the docks, and then down towards as close to storage station as possible, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're able to do so. You get to a point in the dock, far south from any of the docks, where you pass the moored cargo ships and the passenger ships that they're stationed overnight here. And you basically beach at a point like a couple 100 feet away from the station. And this station is located on Oric Roadway East, and it's situated between the districts of Storage System South and Assemblers Row. You've now changed back into your proper clothes, correct?
Yes.
So still wet. The two of you and Happy, I guess, can get unconscious Benito, out of this boat. And you're just going to head right for the station then, yes? Again, you can attempt to be stealthy, but you're carrying an unconscious body.
Yeah, as stealthy as we can, straight to the station.
So the station itself, it is dark, right? The only light cast is, again, the kind of the flickering street lanterns outside the station's entrance. And all of these stations are relatively the same across the city. They really only differ in their size, right? Depending on the part of the city, some of them would be larger because they would see more passengers, basically. You of course know their general layout, right? They consist of basically an enclosed circular path that begins and ends at the main roadway that the station is located, right? Obviously, the wagons would come in off of this roadway, be able to do this loop around the circle, and then come back out onto that same road to take their passenger wherever they're trying to go, whatever station they're going to, right? Or if they've paid extra to go to a specific location outside of the stations littered across the city. So along the outer edge of kind of the first half of this circle, if the wagons kind of come in and move around this counterclockwise around this loop, right? There's covered benches, wooden benches with awnings basically above them, which is of course where patrons would sit. Essentially, just think of a bus stop basically along the first part of this circle. On the second half of this ring, there are usually two buildings that are constructed along it. One, Hellcrux certainly knows and has been in a number of them. One serves as a small, makeshift kind of barn area, right? Obviously, in the event that a wagon gets maybe stranded or moored at one of these stations, there is a place where they're of course all horse-drawn. There's a place where you would put the horses, whether it had to be overnight or maybe longer. Hellcrux also knows that there's generally a small supply of hay and other feed stored within, again, just to keep up the health of the horses should they get stranded here without a working carriage to pull. The second building is more like a kind of a garage, basically, but it's completely open on the front of it. And in this open garage building, you see a parked wagon. It's small mounted lantern. They usually have a lantern that kind of hangs off the front of it, right? That is lit up for the drivers during some of the darker hours of operation. It's unlit, and the area itself appears to be deserted.
Benny!
I'm gonna take a few steps ahead of the group and just kind of put my hand out for them to kind of let me go first. I'm gonna walk up to the carriage kind of quietly and just be very observant, looking at the front of the carriage. I'm gonna make my way around the back to see what I can see in the back of it.
As Kalia is whispering, and Hellcrux, you approach to investigate the wagon, slinking from the shadows, kind of behind this wagon house, just turning around the corner. You both see this kind of scrawny, shaggy-haired kid emerge. He looks to be maybe 12 or so. Clearly, Kalia, this is Benny, right? And kind of looks to Hellcrux and then Happy and kind of quizzically to Benito. Hey, which one of you bozos has my 5 gold pieces, huh? I've been watching this dumb wagon real good. Pay up, come on.
You did a great job, Benny. Help us get him in.
Oh, hey, that's gonna cost you extra.
Okay, help us.
Yeah, well, come on, where's what I'm owed up front here?
Kids these days.
I will remind you what you left inside the carriage. You left a crossbow, a dagger, a staff, and a longbow.
I get the crossbow. And
Okay.
Look, Brenny. We've been through a really rough night. Okay. We'll double what you're being paid here if you help us out. We'll get you some coin, but we don't have it on us right now. Okay. Just be patient for a few more minutes.
Double, eh? Okay, well, you better be quick about it. I had to dodge a guard snooping around here a few times, coming down from the storage system. You better hurry up.
Oh, good job. We want to keep this quiet. Let's be quick.
So, Benny kind of scampers to the side of the wagon. He opens up. They're more like a carriage, right, rather than an open back wagon or anything like that. So he kind of throws open the door. Your weapons are still kind of littered within it that you've left in the event of an emergency. And you can kind of throw Benito in. Happy kind of slowly climbs up, and you of course have to hook up the horses that are in the barn still, because this wagon is unhooked. I assume Hellcruck will take that.
Hellcruck will, quickly hustle over to grab 2 horses and bring them over to the wagon to hook them up. And
you do see there's only the 2 in there, right? As this is the only wagon that seems to be moored here at this station. Why don't you give me a quick animal handling check to see how quickly you rig up. You give me with advantage because you do this 100 times a day. Just get a gauge on how fast you're able to hook this wagon up and get out of here.
Apparently I needed it. 10.
Okay. Maybe fumbling in the dark, right? As I assume you don't light the lantern that's hanging off the front of the wagon at all, I assume, no?
No. I think we want to keep this as down low as possible.
Okay, so you kind of maybe again the dark is obscuring your actions here a little, so you're not quite as fast as you normally would be. But you get the wagon hooked up. Assume you climb up into the front. Of course, the driver sits at up on a little bench on the head of the carriage, right, with the reins in hand. Kylia, are you sitting up with Hellcruck? You're getting inside as well.
Yeah, I'll get in the back so I can keep an eye on Benito.
And Hellcruck kind of click the reins. Horses start to trot out of this station. Now, where are you going? You're essentially going to go to the closest station to the keep, which would be the South Den station. Do you want to take this wagon back to Lehan's? And then the rest of you move on foot with an unconscious body back to the keep?
No, I think I'm confident enough that, I'm almost like part owner of the business now. We're going to go to the South End station, the one that gets us closest to our destination, and deal with settling the tab for the carriage when that comes about.
So you've turned right out of this station on to Auric Roadway East, which cutting through the mercantile district is going to be the quickest way to get to the southern section of the den. And as you're pulling out, kind of rounding the very bottom of the storage system south, so these storage systems, they're buildings, they're just basically vast rows of huge warehouse buildings, right, where the city's goods are stored. They're going to be the most heavily patrolled districts of the city, as that is, of course, very important to maintain and prevent thievery of. And you've pulled out onto this road, I assume still no light, right?
Would it be suspicious for a carriage to be out on the road at this time of day without a light?
I think you could probably think of, especially, again, outside of the operating hours, if you needed the light to see, it wouldn't be unusual, but you can think of that light as the taxi cab sign being lit up as if it's open for business kind of thing, right? So definitely not unusual for it to remain dark. As again, if you're sticking to the major and minor roadways, they are pretty adequately lit. Even this late into the, again, you're good. Some of the street lights may be burnt out at this time of night, right before city workers and personnel would come in and swap out the oils and the candles, etc. So no, definitely not unusual. And again, with your dark vision, you don't need the light to navigate through the city.
Okay, then yeah, I'll leave it out.
But of course, this guard does see your wagon, and he's kind of sitting at the edge of Auric Roadway East, and he holds up a hand to you as if to stop you.
I run him over.
Right.
Oh boy, come on, Hellcruck, you can do this. All right, I kind of pull on the reins a little bit. click at the horses and slow down to pull up. I'm going to pull up just so that kind of the horses and me stop right beside the guard. I'm not going to pull up any farther than that.
Ho there! Well met.
Ah, yes. How's the night been treating you tonight, officer?
Well, honestly, pretty eventful, closer up to the prison. So, I've noticed this wagon has been here for a couple of days. What, were you fixing it up?
Yeah, honestly, at Lehan's, we've had a lot of wagons lately that have been coming back real beat up. Kind of trying to figure out what's been going on and see if there's any patterns, but sometimes you just have to eat the costs of running business, and fix them up and rent them out again.
Yeah, I could understand that. You see, he's kind of like made it to like one of the horses, and he's like petting this horse, clearly like enamored with these animals. Beautiful, beautiful horses you keep up there.
You like horses yourself?
Oh, I love them. I would love to have a ranch of my own.
Oh my goodness, me too. I mean, I've been working at Lehan's for quite a while, and I've really grown attached to some of them. One of the horses, pretty old, but reliable and smart too. I call him Smaller.
Well, okay. So what, you heading back to Lehan's then, eh? Put him away for the night?
Yeah. This thing seems to be working okay. I mean, as long as I don't have a wheel fall off on the way back there. But
oh yeah, you have. I mean, I could probably take a look, see if how well you've done. My dad was a mechanic.
Oh, you don't say.
Oh yeah. Let me take a look. Which what? What, you got a spokes problem? You got a wheel problem? What's going on here?
It's this wheel right beside me here.
The kind of like I point to the front right one.
Kaelia and Happy, why don't you both give me a stealth? Of course, you hear this exchange, right? You felt the carriage come to a stop.
I hate this so much.
21.
Okay, well, Happy rolled a 2 with his -5 from his levels of exhaustion.
He's in there yelling, "We're from the prison!"
Get me out of here!
He's like,
Punch
"Where
it,
am I?"
Hellcrock!
They broke me out! Save me! Oh, this is terrible. I don't want to kill a guard, Leland, but I'll do it.
So he wanders over to.
You hate the guards.
He wanders over to the wheel that you pointed out. So we've had this tie. Normally, majority rules. Hellcrock, why don't you give me? You've been very persuasive and jovial so far, cooperative. So why don't you give me a persuasion check? I'm gonna give you advantage on it.
Well, the first one was a nat 1, so let's see what the next one is. Oh, praise. 16 on the die with a -1. 15. Hellcrock's not very charismatic, I guess.
Apparently not. So he stoops down and he kind of like stops for a second. Oh, you did a hell of a job fixing this eye. I can't even tell where it was broken.
Oh, that means a lot coming from you with your heritage of mechanics. Thank you. I didn't come into working at Lehan's knowing much, but he's taught me a lot over the years. He's a good man.
You know what? That's what I hear. Hey, you get home safe. Have a good night. And he kind of gives one final pat to the horses, and he kind of moseys back on into the storage district, basically like on his round, essentially.
You stay safe, officer. I really respect the force and what you're doing.
Okay, very well done. Very well done.
Well done, Bill.
Very well done.
Well done, Bill.
Need to change my underwear after that one.
Now that that's passed, what about Benny? He's in the cart with us too, right? In the carriage.
Oh, I did forget about Betty. Yeah.
I smacked him on the head and knocked him out.
Wait a second. That would be even more sus.
All right, let's roll for Benny.
Oh, no.
No,
Oh,
it's
you're
going
lucky.
on.
Benny got an adjusted 20,
Oh.
so he's all right. Hellcrock can't hear from outside of the carriage, but next to you, Kaelia, Benny's like snickering at this exchange. What an idiot! Talking about the guard. As Hellcrock, you click, and the horses continue and pulls the wagon forward. And you kind of make it unhindered to the South Eden station. And now that station itself is, a few hundred feet from the keep.
Hi, thanks for joining us. There are a few things we'd like for you to know. You can get more info from our website, incorrigibleparty.com. And we have a World Anvil site now, worldanvil.com/w/Senta-Leland Steel. World Anvil is free, but you do need to make an account. Leland's put a lot of information there for everyone, which is good because between you and us, we all need it. Our music is provided by Tabletop Audio and Sarastro Music. You can support us at patreon.com/incorrigibleparty or just by telling your friends and anyone who'll listen about your new favorite podcast. Also, give us 5 stars on your favorite podcast listening thingy. The more people know, the more people that'll listen, and the more panicky we become. And last but not least, join our Discord, which is free and open to everyone, and we talk about video games, board games, floofs, and the podcast. Get insider info and be the first to find out about all the new and awesome things. Happy adventuring!
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.